Good afternoon. Almost good afternoon. Just win, baby. Scataboo, bricklayers. What is happening? College basketball finished up last night. I won my bracket contest. I don't know. I got to figure out who won the bricklayers contest. That would be something I should know. I'm going to put that in the family text. Let me figure it out. Yeah. All right. How are we doing today, everybody? We have an open forum today. Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate on how to bet the Masters and how who won last night betting the national championship game. Gilbert Manzano, our friend from Sports Illustrated, wrote a big column on Ashton Genty, a real deep dive. So seems like the Raiders are interested in him, right?
First day of school. Now.
So we got that. And Lige Douzable, former 10-year defensive lineman in the league, on the draft. I'm giving you a draft guest every day. Living up to it, living up to what I tell you, living up to that. I got a double today. I'll be doing Mad Dog. So today's a 5-hour radio day, which is pretty impressive because most guys don't do solo radio anymore. They have 6 co-hosts, clappers. You know, a clapper is someone who should not be on the radio, but is because they clap. I came up with that term because I think clappers are cutting the line for people who should be on the radio, who are doing it the right way by getting rep after rep after rep after rep, overnight show, overnight shift, podcast after podcast, and they should be on the radio more than the clappers who just sit around and act like idiots and wear costumes and get on TV and radio. I think I'm the only guy who mentions that. I'm not jealous of the clappers at all. I wish I would have been a clapper back in the day. Let's do this. Let's do a radio show. Hey, put some topics in the chat. If you want me to comment on anything, I'll look at the chat. Let's go.
20 years.
It's the JT the Brick Show, broadcasting live from the Finley Cadillac Performance Studio.
Raiders bring a blitz. He takes it off the middle, and he's wrapped up from behind. Max Crosby.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 20 years.
Opens at the 35, racing to the 20, 10, touchdown Raiders.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT with you. How are we doing today? We got a nice crowd waiting here in the chat on our YouTube channel. I have a large coffee bean, a large black coffee bean. I think I needed a kickstart because today's the first few seconds into 5 hours of radio today. I got 2 here, 3 tonight on Sirius XM, all solo, no clappers in the background, just me today. So my wife says, pace yourself. What do you mean pace yourself? Doing this almost 30 years. There's no pacing. I go one speed, balls out, one speed, fast, interactive. It's the only speed I know. I don't talk like this at home. I'm a quiet man named John. Come into the radio. I morph into this guy. I'm just faster, intense, want to win. 1 hour ago at 11 a.m., I was on NFL radio with Kirk Morrison, former Raider linebacker, and Bruce Murray. I did 20 minutes. 20 minutes on the Raiders. NFL radio on Sirius XM. Really interested on the Raider Nation. What I thought about Geno. We were the first to get Geno on. They knew about it. They had portions of the interview, so they played it. And we talked about the Raiders, and they said at the end, JT, you're very optimistic. And I said, I'm always optimistic. I want the Raiders to do well. I'm not coming on your radio show to say doom and gloom. The Raiders won't be good. I'm the optimism guy because I want the team to win for you, the great fans of the Raider Nation. And I think we got something to believe in, as they say. Give me something to believe in. We do. We got Geno at quarterback and Max on defense. Sprinkled in with Brock Bowers. We could get Ashton Genty, a star running back. Maybe we get a corner. I don't know. The Raiders having a lot of visits with some hot shots. Good players here. Maybe the Raiders are trying to kind of get everybody off. Bring a whole bunch of good first-round players in here so everybody's guessing on what John Spytek's going to do. And it really is all a guess. We don't know. Kirk Morrison asked me about Tom Brady, Bob. He said, what does Brady do in the building? I said, I don't know. I'm not on record saying what Tom Brady does. Not me. I don't know what he does. I just know he matters a lot. He matters a lot to Mark Davis. And he's vetting the quarterback. And he met with Gino at his mansion in Miami. And him and Gino got along. That's all I know. What do you know? So we got a quarterback. And we probably have the best quarterback we've had since Derek Carr. Derek was a very good player. Gino's a good player. And we won a lot of games with Derek at times. We had a 12-4 season. You can get a 10-win season or 11-win season with Gino. We all know that. Gino can do that. Gino is a guy who can win games. In the last 3 seasons, he won more games than Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow. Man, I like saying that. It's true. So we know that Gino should be there to help the Raiders. He was introduced yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to welcome Gino to the Raider Nation, you could do that today. We're off tomorrow for Aviators baseball. Minor League Baseball. They're playing somewhere in Texas. Yeah. I don't know where they're playing, but I'm off tomorrow, so I'm either going to try to play some golf. I'm heading to Tempe, Phoenix, Arizona for the weekend to visit my son for the last time before he graduates from college. And I've let him down. I haven't been out there a lot to ASU. Went out to Oklahoma a little bit more for my older son, so I'm going to get out there, take him around a couple golf courses, play some golf, scout some stuff for his graduation, and do that over the weekend here. So a short week for me. Vinny Bonsignor will be in on Friday, and we're kicked off the radio tomorrow for the AAA Aviators, and that's the way the ball bounces as we're set to go. The monologue is brought to you by Golden Entertainment. They own the Strat. Say it with me. The giant tower here in town is owned by Golden Entertainment. They also own 70-plus taverns, including PTs. They fuel the monologue 5 to 7, midnight to 2. The best happy hour in town. So let me give you a Raider topic because I got to feed the Raider Nation live on YouTube, JT the Brick YT. Please sign up for our free live stream. We're really trying hard to get something big to work with this, and it's only going to work if you sign up for free. I don't ask you for anything. I don't ask you for donations. I don't ask you for this. I don't ask you for nothing. I'd just like you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because it makes a difference in what we're trying to do here on the radio, especially with the Raiders, as we now are doing shows with the Raiders on their YouTube channel, and they like what we're doing. It's JT the Brick YT. So how about some red meat for the Raider Nation? Ashton Genty, the running back. We all good with this? He's coming in for a meeting. He's healthy. I watched him play live a few times. I like him. Do I love him? I mean, love him compared to who? Derrick Henry? Adrian Peterson? Saquon Barkley? He has a chance to be one of those guys. He has a chance. He's the best running back in college, and some people think the best running back for quite some time. I mean, this guy's better than Josh Jacobs, who played at Alabama. He's better than what we've seen with Zeus, who played at Georgia. He's just better. He had better Heisman opportunities, and he could have won the Heisman Trophy. So how do you pass him up? Raiders are dead last in rushing. Dead last in rushing. Yeah. As in last place. You can have a guy in here that could put you in the top 5 if he has a big career. But we don't know. He played at Boise State. Ooh, I said it. He played at Boise State. A lot of times he didn't go up against NFL defensive tackles and NFL linebackers. Those guys aren't going to the NFL. Those UNLV linebackers he went up against and the Fresno guys, most of them aren't going to play in the NFL. They're good players. They know how to tackle, but they're not in the SEC. So Genty's played Oregon and other good schools and played well. He's tested. He's pure. He's got tremendous athletic ability. He's a character guy, it seems. If they take him, I'm fine. If they don't take him and wait for a running back high in the second round and there's 3 left and they're all like just a tad behind Ashton Genty and they take one of those, I'm fine with that too. So again, I'm not going to die on the hill for anybody, but I like Genty. And that's where it seems like everybody believes the Raiders are going, like in every mock draft. There are still some mock drafts left that have Shador, which is a really juicy topic. You pass on Shador and he turns out to be great. Oh boy, what happens there? If you turn it on the TV and all of a sudden you're seeing Shador play for New Orleans and New Orleans has got 12 wins and they're hosting playoff games and Shador's in his second year and you're like, whoa, we could have had him. Well, that's the risk you got to take. You look at the big wide receiver out of Arizona, and Ted McMillan. Looks big, like a Calvin Johnson type guy. If you take him, is he going to be a number one? Are you going to take a wide receiver who only might get 6 targets in a game and catch only 4? You're going to take that guy at 6 and he only gets 6 targets because we're getting the ball to Brock Bowers? I can see passing on him and maybe getting a wide receiver. And then it comes to the cornerback position, where the cornerback position is really important because we haven't been good at that around here for quite some time. We're just not very good. We said goodbye to Jack Jones, who played well. Jack's played well here. We wish him well. Ian Rappaport reports Michigan All-American cornerback Will Johnson, one of the draft's top corners, will work out for NFL teams on Monday at 10 a.m. in Ann Arbor. Now that he's fully healed from a hamstring injury. Oh boy, injury guy. A day later, he heads to Las Vegas to visit the Raiders. Okay. We're going to take Will Johnson coming off a hamstring injury? How's that working out with the guys we drafted in the past with injuries? How's that work out with DJ Hayden? How's that work out with Tyree Wilson? How's that worked out? But I know Will Johnson can play. That guy's a beast. And it's a hamstring, and he'll be 100%. But reportedly a visit there. So the Raiders are going to visit with everybody, and they're going to vet that, and they're going to make a decision, and we'll see what happens. More and more people are asking me if I think the Raiders will trade back. If they trade back slightly from 6 to 9, if they trade back from 6 to 11, I don't have a problem with that. But you're going to lose a player like Ashton Genty most likely. So be careful what you wish for. I believe just take the best player at 6. Take the best offensive player because the defense is better than the offense. We all agree on that. We all agree. Season ticket holders, raise your hand, beep your horn. The defense is better than the offense. We need to get the offense going a little bit. Need to stay on the field on 3rd down. I think we can do that with Geno now because he can run. Geno can run. He even said yesterday he'll run through a wall for Pete Carroll, which is nice to hear. So everything's going to be good there. Pete Carroll loves Geno. Doesn't like him, he loves him. Pete Carroll's the head coach. Sounds like they took care of the head coach. They got him as quarterback, which is great. Whatever Pete wants, give it to Pete. And give Pete a bunch of defensive guys that he can mold and develop. So I threw out Ashton Genty. We're in the Ashton Genty window now. If you're with him and you want him, then go get him. If you don't want him, call me at 702-365-9200 and tell me to pass. Do you like Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, the other quarterbacks? You know, my gut tells me you don't need a quarterback now. You got Geno and Aiden O'Connell. You already have a 3rd, 4th round quarterback. You don't need another one. But Gruden's having his quarterback camp, and everybody's falling in love with quarterbacks, including the former Ohio State quarterback. Everyone's just falling in love with the video, the Instagram, IG videos. So people are getting worked up on that. If you love a linebacker, I'd love to get a linebacker in here who can tackle someone and can cover a tight end. We haven't had that around here for quite some time. I think if you look at the linebacker position, we can't cover tight ends. Say it with me. We have proven that we cannot cover tight ends with the linebacker. Nate Hobbs wasn't healthy enough to play. I knew Nate Hobbs wouldn't be here because he wasn't healthy enough to play. Jack Jones got beat too much on the double move, but I like Jack. We wish him well. So we want better, fundamental, stronger, more physical defensive players in the secondary, i.e. Jeremy Chin, a guy that's got an opportunity to play really well in the Pete Carroll system. Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, those are potential Hall of Fame players. They were developed. They didn't come into the NFL as can't-miss prospects. Pete Carroll put them in the Legion of Boom. LOB! He put them in the Legion of Boom with Richard Sherman, and they covered like animals, and they hit people, and they knocked people's heads off like Jack Tatum. Feels like we're getting back to that, which is nice. If you're going to come in the box, hit someone, and hit them hard, and be physical, and play the style that Pete Carroll likes, and with Devin White, what John Spytek likes. Hey, did anybody watch the Buccaneers with Tom Brady and before that? They're a hell of a defensive unit over there, going back to Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp. The culture in Tampa Bay is to hit people. John Lynch, right? And some of the other teams that they've had recently. So I think the defense is going to get tougher. I think it's going to get tougher and more physical. And they're going to play harder and be more competitive. And I think we're going to be surprised. One of the things this year, if you go to practice and training camp, I think that everybody, and especially our insiders and the people that cover the Raiders, might look at it a little bit different this year. You might be watching a practice, and then all of a sudden a whole unit gets subbed out. Where Pete Carroll's like, no, new safety, new corner, right now, new linebacker, get them in. These guys aren't doing a good enough job. Get them out. Let's get the new guys in. I don't care who they are. Put them in the game. And maybe that's what's going to get this team to the next level. Competition Pete. Pete having everyone's head on a swivel that if they're not playing great every practice, they will not play on Sunday. I think most of the other coaches did that. Antonio Pierce, Rich Bisaccia, John Gruden, Josh McDaniels. They went with the best players they thought were the best players, but Pete Carroll's at a different level. The most difficult part of my job, which is a very easy job, the most difficult part is showing respect to the former coaches that got fired. It's something I think I do well because in general, I like them all and I wish them well. And I don't think they showed up lazy for practice and unprepared and didn't have the best practice regiment ready to go. Some had better players than others. Some were other coaches were better. It's not disrespectful to say that Pete Carroll is a better coach than most of the coaches since John Gruden here who won a Super Bowl. That's not disrespectful. That's just a fact. Pete Carroll's at a different level. So we're going to let Pete run this thing. And now they're in there. They're meeting for the first time today, off-season wise, conditioning, meetings and all that. And I think the conditioning starts now. And I think the conditioning is going to be really important going forward because it's a new regime when it comes to conditioning. The way they're going to condition these players, I hope, is much better. Not that the other guys who were in the training room didn't do a good job. We just had a lot of bad luck. A lot of guys got hurt. A lot of guys in the tub. A lot of guys can't come back and play. I mean, how many times do we have guys here that were gone for the year and didn't come back? They're out week 3 and they didn't come back? Wait a second. Why aren't you back in week 11, week 12? Let's go. Out of the tub. Out of the tub. Let's go. We need you. How many guys got hurt last year and never came back? I don't know. We're in the practice squad like week 7. No more. Oh, practice squad, you're over there. You're the practice squad. You mean a lot to us. We need our starters to be healthy and play. Maybe we got to condition them differently. Maybe we got to lay off them. I don't know. Maybe we got to play them harder in the hot sun. I don't know. But it's going to be a little bit different under Pete, competition Pete. So all this is changing starting today. As they're meeting today, off-season program, and we're going to find out what's going on. This is a very private group. Very private group. John Spytek, Pete Carroll, they're not here to give you any clues. Not here to give you any clues about what's going on with Tom Brady. No clues. They're getting ready for a draft. Okay, so clip that and put it in some website on YouTube. JT the Brick says that, man, they're not here to give clues. You better believe it. John Spytek isn't giving you his list of who he's drafted in the first round. This guy's stealth. He knows how to do it. And Pete Carroll loves Johnny, as he calls him. And they're going to be on the same page together. So it's exciting times. I'm excited. I'm excited to win at all cost. I don't got a lot of time to wait. I've been doing this a long time. Time to win in Vegas. Time to get going in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Stop selling your tickets. Get to the games early. Tailgate. Wear black. Get excited. Eric Allen's going into the Hall of Fame. How cool is that? Got a lot of good things happening around here. And we're going to take advantage of that. It's the calm before the storm of the draft. After the draft, we'll have a pretty good idea of what the team looks like. Hopefully a really good idea of what the team looks like. And then it'll be summertime radio. We'll come up with a couple of fun things to do. And then it's balls out as we get this going. Very quickly, final call last night as Florida ended up beating Houston to win the national championship game on CBS.
Pryor, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sharp. He walked, he can't touch it. He can't. 1 second, and it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world. Championship madness. It's a great day to be a Gator. They win the national title.
All right, CBS on the call. Couple things. I won a pretty large bracket contest. Pretty large one. Over 100 people. I will donate the money. I don't gamble. People say, what do you mean you don't gamble? I don't bet. I made a $20 donation. I'll make a donation. That's what I do. So that's it. Why not? I'm good. But I won. I picked Florida to win, and I finally won one of these things. And my wife said, how many times have you dropped $20 into this thing? I said, a long time. But we made it back all and then some. So I won. Feel pretty good about that. I'll make a nice donation to a cause or two that will remain with me and my wife. I'm excited about that. As I tweeted out earlier today, I've been going to basketball games my entire life. I think the first basketball game I ever went to, Madison Square Garden, 5 years old. I've been to hundreds upon hundreds of NBA, college, high school, and youth basketball games. The coaching last night was horrific. You know why? Because they let these guys shoot threes. If I was king, if I ruled the world, you would not be allowed to shoot a three. I would bench your ass if you shot a three. I would bench you. I would be the coach, and I'd go, come here. You're 6'10". You just shot a three. Go to the bench. You're Karl Anthony Towns. You're shooting threes. You're Julius Randle. You go to the bench. I got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to shoot threes. Jokic, you can do one every once in a while. You're the best player in the world. Nobody else shooting threes. I don't care if I'm a JUCO. If I'm coaching JUCO in Santa Clara, you're not shooting threes. And last night, everybody's shooting threes and missing. Clank, 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 clank. But then Houston early, little bunny bank shots, little 3-footers going in. They're up by 12. And then the coach lets them get out of control, shooting threes all over the place. Clank, clank, clank. Florida gets back in the game. Holy cow. And then, with 20 seconds to go, Kelvin Sampson calls his last timeout. I go, what? Why are you calling timeout? There's 20 seconds left. You're going to need that timeout. So his team gets the ball. They don't know how to run a play. Fire drill. Everybody going, running around. Guys jumping up, leaving his feet. I'm like, oh, my God, Kelvin, you were supposed to call timeout with 7 seconds and go, hey, come here, guys. I'm going to draw up a play. You're going to get to the front of the rim. We're going to get a layup, a dunk, a bank shot, and a foul and win the game. But no, we're not going to get a shot off. Coaching is awful because of Steph Curry and Caitlin Clark, let's give her love, everybody thinks they can make a three. It's a 25% shot. Proven in the national championship game, Chris in West Oakland, who's a coach, proven Chris in West Oakland, you're a coach, that people can't hit threes and they lose games because they let other teams back in the game. How'd you see it?
You're 100% right, JT. Let me tell you something as a coach on you. We tell kids all the time, oh, the kid will tell you, I was wide open. Yeah, there's a reason you're wide open. The other coach wants you to shoot. I'm with you 1,000%. I love the three-point shot. It's a big part of the game. But so frustrating when you watch teams that get to the basket at will, scoring layups, but then they just settle for jump shots after jump shots. I love Steph Curry. You know what a big Warrior fan I am? He's changed the game, but not always for the better. But that being said, JT, Kelvin Sampson is a hell of a coach, and I would have pulled for him last night, except I didn't know until Sunday I had a chance to win. I did 2 bracket pools this year. Since I've been going to Tahoe for a decade and a half, I don't even worry about these brackets anymore. I had Duke winning one, Florida winning another. I won a pretty sizable chunk last night myself on Florida. I had no idea I was going to win it till Sunday night. But, you know, let me say this, though, JT. I didn't get a chance to call yesterday. Duke losing Saturday is one of the all-time choke jobs. Up 14 with 8 minutes left. From the head coach on down to stop playing, trying to bleed clock, wrong guys handling the ball. And unlike Kelvin Sampson, who burned too many timeouts, John Shire stood there with his hands on his hips and didn't call a single timeout until there was 20 seconds left when they got the ball to flag when he missed a shot. This Duke team with 3 lottery picks in the starting lineup is going to go down as maybe only to the 99 team with Shane Battier, Elton Brand, and Trajan Langdon that didn't win a title. That being said, last night's game, very exciting game, pretty sloppy game. It wasn't a great game, but I know Todd Golden a little bit. He's a St. Mary's guy, San Francisco guy. I know him a little bit through the coaching carousel down here in the Bay Area. I'm going to say this, though, JT. We live in a different world now. You're not going to see the days of the Coach K's, the Dean Smith, Bobby, that stay at these schools for 2 and 3 decades. I think Golden has a chance to be that guy. He's 39 years old. He understands the game. He's in a great place to recruit, great weather. You got football money as well. I think this guy could build Florida into an elite program like Billy Donovan was on his way to do. The only thing that's going to change that is if the NBA's dollars come calling, and it's just too much to pass up. Anyway, man, that's like I said, it's a sad day for me. When one shining moment hits, it's over. I live for the tournament every year. It's my favorite 3 weeks of the year. It's really the only 3 weeks I gamble anymore. But I'll hit the draft next week. It's time to look at the Raiders a little bit, since I don't have the Oakland A's anymore because that bag of crap John Fisher has stolen my team. And good luck if he ever gets to Vegas. Whatever's going to happen to that carpet bag of crap. Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
Chris in West Oakland checking in, a good leadoff hitter, good cleanup hitter, and loves the tournament. The tournament's big for Vegas. Okay, I don't know how many millions upon millions we make here in Vegas due to the tournament. Obviously, the kickoff of the tournament does bigger than the Super Bowl. But as we've been reporting here, we got a lot of partners on this show. Very proud of the amount of business we do for a 2-hour show. The gouging, this is the first time that I can recall people telling me that they're upset about coming to Vegas for the tournament. It's too expensive. First time. I've been here a long time. As you know. It's the first time people are coming up to me saying, I can't afford to go to Vegas anymore. I can't afford to go to Vegas. They are gouging me in the sports book. They're gouging me in the hotels and at the restaurants. We better change. I've been one of the Pied Pipers of this. We better change. We got something really good going on here, and we're screwing it up. And the NCAA tournament, these are some of our most valued tourists that we have that visit our great city of Vegas, and we're screwing it up. Leave those people alone. Give them good rates. Give them free Wi-Fi. Don't bang them with resorts fees. And don't have surge pricing in your casinos because you got the fraternal order of the men of khaki pants coming in and you know they got money. Be better than that. Okay, stop being so greedy. And I noticed that with the tournament. Don't notice that with the rodeo that does it beautifully. But notice it with March Madness. A lot of people a little bit upset about that. So there we go. So we're in the Raider wheelhouse here for the draft. We'd like you to know every day from here on out to the 24th. I was on a conference call today with the Raiders about what we're going to be doing for the draft. Exciting times, the draft party, what we're going to be doing leading up to that. I'll be doing some anchoring with Eric Allen, some cool stuff coming up that I do every year. So I don't know how many times you're going to be able to get in touch with me, but I need your first-round draft pick. That's really where we are for the next couple of weeks. Who do you got going number 6? Specifically, who do you got, and what do you think is the overall vibe for the Raiders to get out of the draft in a great spot? I mean, I'm okay with the free agencies. We lost some good players. They went and chased the money. I'm all right. We brought in reasonably well complementary players for those who we lost. We did. You get Christian Wilkins back healthy. Geno's the quarterback in a trade. I like what the Raiders are doing. I think the Raiders are a good football team, but I always think they're good. But if they nail the draft, it could speed up the whole cycle. That's why the draft is really important, and we want to get that rolling. We're brought to you by Raising Cane Chicken Fingers. I always say, become a Caniac. Go through the drive-thru. Order mobily. Go into their stores. They're fantastic. The lemonade, the iced tea, the chicken fingers, the buttery Texas toast, the crinkle-cut fries, the coleslaw that I love so much. There's a reason why we say Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love. Big show lined up. I'll tell you about it here as we're rolling here on the flagship.
It's the morning tailgate.
26 minutes. You give me 26 minutes, I'll give you the world.
I got 26 minutes. How about you guys? One thing to take into consideration also, we're playing a 4th place schedule this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You're going to have a much more favorable schedule this year than last.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, Jeff Sherman, 12:45.
Yep, got him.
Mel Kiper Jr. has the Saints selecting Shador at number 9. He will be the backup to Derek Carr. He will learn under Derek Carr for a year, and then he will take over. He'll take over before the year. because if Derek makes a mistake, New Orleans will want to see Shador. Love the passion. Yeah, Mike Malone fired as the head coach of the Nuggets. Wow.
That's surprising. That's really surprising.
Bobby, I'm not a fan of Train because I'm a fan of Rush, so I can't be a fan of Train. Good lead singer, great, very good lead singer, good catchy tunes. You will not find me at a Train show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Every source, though. You never know. Might get stuck in one way or another. Raider Nation, what's your name? Jacob, what are you calling from? Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Mel Kiper Jr.'s mock draft is out. 4.0. 4.0.
I said, what's your opinion? Let's hear it.
Just like how Las Vegas never sleeps. Whether it's a night out or game time, Labor's local 872 will keep building.
That's 72 people here in the chat. That's nice. 72 more than we had a year ago.
Good. All right, Jacob,
Do a live stream sometime tomorrow. We're off tomorrow. Look for a live stream. And we'll throw it up there. Do it from home. Thank you.
check in today because we're due for a freaking buddy. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good job.
How was your birthday last night? How was dinner? How was everything? Good?
Sam and the rice pilaf was really good.
Nice.
She got me a birthday cake and stuff. She got into the bottle of Tito's vodka a little bit.
Tito's vodka, nice.
Which goes really well with Sprite, apparently. And that's about it. You know?
Vodka Sprite. I do vodka club soda for the calories, but Sprite's good. Gives you a little kick.
We're poor people, so, you know. Yeah, it was fine. Hung out. It was all great. In fact, she's taking me out tonight. There's this little food truck that's up at the Smiths on Sahara and Durango that does like lobster meat.
Well, that sounds good. What's it called?
It's up on Sahara and Durango at the Smiths. It's there from like 11 to 8 o'clock. I don't know what the name of it is. It's like Cousin Maine's Lobster or some shit like that. But
Nice.
yeah, I've been up there a couple times. It's a little expensive, but it's not, it's good food.
Yeah, food trucks are good. I've never gotten into the food truck world where we chase a food truck, but a lot of people I do that and they love it.
Well, dude, I wouldn't know. I mean, that's just my grocery store. I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't pass it.
Yeah.
It's like I had a meal there a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
Not bad.
Yeah.
There one last week. She liked it. Now she's buying me one.
Nice.